One of the times I was home alone was when my parents were out for their 20th anniversary. I was 17. I saw something that I still think about to this day. It was a normal night like any other else. I was sitting on the couch watching a comedy sketch show. My family's dog, Lucy, was sitting at the front door whining. She usually did this when she wanted to go out. My parents had told me not to go out while they were out. I looked outside to see the sun was just setting. That should be enough time to take Lucy out to do her business and go. I hooked Lucy's shock collar on as I opened the door into the warm July heat. I could hear my mom's voice screaming at me in my head as I knew I was disobeying her. Lucy bolted as soon as I opened the door and ran out into our neighborhood. I sighed and quickly ran after her. About an hour later, I found her at the end of the suburbs to a dead-end street. The sun was gone, but there was still some light left. "Lucy!" I called out. The dog wouldn't budge. She was looking at something at the end of the road. Lucy was staring at this thing, at this dead animal of some kind. It was long and skinny. Its fingers were sharp-looking and had blood dripping. When it turned around, I wanted to scream, but couldn't. The thing had white eyes and a whole shitload of teeth, all of them on top of one another. The creature sniffed the air and slowly stepped towards Lucy. Panicking, I quickly took off my shoes and threw them into the darkness behind the thing looking at Lucy. The creature turned its head and slowly walked into the darkness. As soon as I stopped hearing its footsteps, I ran like hell with Lucy in my arms. That's when I heard it. The loud, screeching sound. I looked back, and it was after me, but it was on a lamppost. It bounced from post to post, and as it did, a light went out. I kept running and never looking back. I ran until everything in my body was on fire. Getting inside the house, I locked all the doors leading outside. That's when I heard a loud thump on the roof. I froze, and a cold chill went down my entire body. The thing was on the roof! I could hear its footsteps on the roof. Slowly and quietly as possible, I pushed anything I could find in front of the doors and chimney in case it tried to get in that way. I ran to a phone and, hiding under the bed, I tried calling my mom, but it went straight to voicemail. I tried my dad, but it was just the same. I dialed 911, hoping for a prayer. 911, what's your emergency? My name is Jason Foster. I think something's after me. Okay, what is your location, sir? 2356 Baker Street, I said shakingly. My heart was racing a mile a minute, watching the door and waiting for that thing to come after me. Sir, can you please describe these... Then the line went dead. Fuck. The house was silent as I waited. Lucy was still in my arms. She was shaking violently as I was. I felt trapped. The thing was going to eat me alive like a goddamn buffet. That's when I heard something crash outside of my room. One of the barricades I made must have broke. I could hear the thing crawling and slithering out of whatever it was coming out of. How in the hell could I get rid of this thing? I looked at Lucy's shock collar and got an idea. If I could somehow distract this thing without it ripping me apart, I could try to shock it, and it, just maybe, might leave my house and leave me for good. I could hear it rummaging through everything. I could smell rotten flesh on it, probably from the carcass I had found it eating outside. It came closer and closer to the bedroom. Lucy was cowering in my arms and whimpering. Its stench was strong as it slowly opened the door. I could hear it sniff the air as it glided around my room, looking for me. I slowly crawled to the other side of the bed, making sure the creature didn't hear me. With its back turned towards me and the shock collar in hand, I pounced on the son of a bitch with all my might. I landed on its back and struggled to get the collar on the thing's neck. The creature clawed at me. One of its claws got me in the back as I screamed in pain. I just managed to get the collar on him before he threw me off. My head banged hard against the nightstand. I was disorientated as the creature turned to me. I thought this was the end. I remembered the shock collar and the control. I cranked up the shock to the highest setting and hoped for the best. As soon as I pressed the button, it howled in pain. But it kept on coming. It stuck one of its claws into my legs and started slowly cutting open my left calf. I screamed and pressed the button again. This time, I kept it held down and it stopped dissecting my leg. The thing screamed in my face. It turned away and crashed out of my window. I sighed in relief. I had won. I had beaten the son of a bitch. The police came a few minutes after. I had managed to bandage my leg with the bandana I found in my closet. The police questioned me about what had happened. I just told them some guy tried to break into my house. I asked if they could contact my parents, which they did. My parents came running into my house, crying and tugging me tight. I couldn't tell them the truth. I couldn't tell anyone. That thing, whatever it was, reminds me with that scar on my leg. I still remember its nails digging into my flesh and the pain it caused. I have nightmares of that thing, and I'm afraid it will come after me again.